Hello again everybody and welcome to my channel. So today I've got another great mechanical pencil along the line of Rotrings. I've been working my way from their lowest model, the 300, all the way up to their best model, the 800 plus. So I've already reviewed the 300, 500, and 600. So today I've got the Rotring 800, and next time I do a Rotring mechanical pencil, it'll be the last one, the 800 plus. So when I was writing this post, I didn't even know where to begin on doing this review. This was my first nice luxury, maybe mechanical pencil, one of the most expensive that I had bought at the time, and I had a hard time spending. I think it came down. I found it on sale for about $29 when it's normally about 50 to 55, somewhere in there. And even then, I still had a hard time spending that much money on a mechanical pencil. Um, but the main thing that sets it apart from things like the most popular 600 is just the retractable tip. So you can see right there, the tip goes back into the body. And as many people will know, if you have the 600, which is a really common mechanical pencil, and you drop it, Murphy's Law just happens to have it that it's going to fall tip first. And given that the 600 and the 800 both have a solid brass body, metal knurled grip, everything on this is metal, and if it lands on that tip, it's going to bend. So Jet Pens actually sells just the grip part of the 600, so you're not stuck buying a whole new mechanical pencil if you find that you drop it. But the 800 avoids that for the most part by having the retractable sleeve. This is obviously only going to work if you have it closed. So one thing that I find that I do is I will write with it, and then I just like filling with my pens in general. So I'll close the tip before I put it back in something or take it off the writing surface. So that way if I do drop it, the tip is protected. So the 800, as I already said, is one of Rotring's premier models. It's the only one lower than or the only one higher than it is 800 plus, with the only difference being the stylus tip, but I'll get into all of that in the next video with the 800 plus. So let's start getting into what makes this mechanical pencil great. So the main feature on this, as I already said, is the retractable tip. This is activated by a clockwise turn of the back knurled, where you primarily find the lead grade indicator on like the 600, I think the 6, 5, and 300 models. The 800 did away with that so they could have the twist to retract the tip. So it takes about a little over a quarter of a turn, and you can hear that when it's set, it has a nice satisfying click in there. And then when you're letting it go, it's just a slight turn. You just have to disengage that mechanism, and then a spring does the rest. I think you saw it take my fingers with it there. So this is pretty solid. I've come across some reviews, especially some older reviews, that when you're writing with this, the tip feels a little spongy. Just like the tip is wobbling a little bit and isn't solid into the body. I haven't noticed that with this one. What I have noticed is somewhat spongy is the lead advance mechanism. So you have to push it a little bit. I don't know if you can see how far that's traveling in the video. Not very far, but maybe like a millimeter, maybe 2. And you can actually see the tip moving as well. So it has to move that far before it will click to advance the lead. That's probably the most annoying feature to me on this pencil. I don't know why. You don't often find yourself advancing lead a heck of a lot, but it's annoying. So one of the things that I really enjoy about having a retractable lead sleeve is you're not poking holes in your bag. I can't tell you, the Graph Gear 500, one of my favorite mechanical pencils, has a lead sleeve about this size. It's a 5 millimeter or 0.5 lead size, and then a 4 millimeter lead sleeve. It was always poking holes in my backpack, and if I didn't retract the lead, if I had a notebook right in front of it or something, I would just have lead scribbles all over it. And so that was one of the most annoying things about it. With this, even if you're pocket carrying, you're not getting holes in your pocket. I came across a story of someone who had a fixed lead sleeve pencil in their pocket, and it cut their hand pretty good when they dug around in their pocket. So you're paying extra for it, but it's a pretty nice feature, and it's going to keep, like I said, it's already going to keep that tip safe. So moving down the pencil, we're still at the top though. Here you'll find the very standard Rotring, why can't I think of the word, Rotring eraser. It's the morning. I'm struggling this morning. My coffee hasn't hit yet, so I'm sorry for that. You can see it's a little different than the 600, and the reason for that is it comes with the lead cleanout rod. The downside to having a lead cleanout rod on these is it makes the refills quite a bit more expensive. I think it's $6 for a pack of 4 if you want it with that, and it's not like you could take the eraser out. Like I'm thinking of the Pentel Quicker Clicker, which I actually happen to have down here with me. I think, yep, where you can take the whatever's seating the pencil eraser into the pen, you can take it out and put it back in. I think it would be great if they allowed you to take the eraser out and maintain that sleeve there, just to save a couple bucks. Because I mean, you're looking at a good chunk of change for, I mean, $6 for 4 erasers. That's honestly kind of ridiculous. One nice thing that you can do is you can use the erasers without the lead cleanout rod and use it in here, save a couple bucks. I also have an eraser that I carry with me because I hate using these tiny erasers, because I find they're pretty much all but useless for anything bigger than a couple words or a couple lines, that's what they're designed for. So, you know, they're good at their job, but they're not good at going much beyond that. All right, so continuing down the pencil, we reached the metal clip. This is probably the most solid clip that I've had on any mechanical pencil. You can see I'm trying to pull it up and it's pretty hard, and it snaps back to the body really well. When I'm putting it in my pen loop in my Padfolio, if I put the pen loop to where the bottom goes above that grip at the end, it's gonna get caught on it. Like, I can't pull it out. I have to get in the pen loop, pull this up a little bit, and then I can pull it out. That's not a bad thing. I mean, it's going to stay secure pretty much no matter what I do. But it just takes an extra step to get it out. So it's secure, great metal clip, super sturdy. So now we reach the body. So this is a brass body, much like, or exactly like the Rotring 600. I think I went with much like because the 600 actually has some softer curves in its hexagonal body shape. This one, I think you can actually, I can see the difference when, not like in real life, not on the camera. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Let me try zooming in on it. Yeah, I think you can notice it. So you can actually see that the 600 has some softer curves than the 800. So the 800 actually feels somewhat, I don't want to say sharp. Oh, you got to see my pencil stay in there. Or what I'm using to record. It's just a pencil cup with some pens and some skewers in there, so that way I'm not spending a lot of money on the stand. But it works. So I actually like the sharpness of the 800 better. I just think it's more defined. I'm very tactile, and so when I fidget with things, I like the way they feel, and this makes it just feel really good. Again, this is where a lot of the weight of the pencil comes from, and so if you ever drop it on that tip, you are out of luck, because I don't think you can replace the internals of these. I don't even know how to get the internals out, and I'm not comfortable with doing that either, because I'm good at taking things apart, but I'm not good at putting things back together. I'm not very mechanically inclined that way. All right, so on here you'll obviously have the Rotring 800 and then the designation for the lead size. Let me try to find it off camera because I can't see it very well. You'll also see, you can't really see it on camera. Let's see if I can get it at all. Right about here it says Japan, but it's really, really small and blends in pretty well to the finish. So you can kind of see that there's a mark there, but you're not going to be able to make it out on camera. But continuing down, we reach one of my favorite grips is Rotring's grips. This one is actually a little bit different than the 600. It seems a bit softer and smoother, even though it is still that knurled metal grip. I've noticed that it's still going to be super sturdy, super grippy on your fingers. It's not going to slide, but it's not as aggressive as the 600. One of the reviews that I read while I was researching for this blog compared these two, and it said this one's like sandpaper and this one's like an ice skating rink compared to that. And I think that's a pretty good analogy. This one's a lot softer on the fingers. You're going to be able to write for quite a bit longer with the Rotring 800 and not have your fingers hurt as compared to the 600. And then with the tip, you got the nice gold accented tip, which I really enjoy. You also got the gold accented back along the red band, which just gives it a nice flare, I think, and really sets it apart, especially if you've got it in like a pen case and you're trying to find them. You can just automatically grab the 800 by that gold right there. So this one is a very quick conical taper that would lead to a cylindrical lead. Not, this isn't the lead sleeve, but this is a cylindrical shape. I don't know what I would call that. Let me get that to focus better. And then you reach a 4.1 millimeter lead sleeve. Again, it's going to be a problem if you drop it when it's open, just because this one's pretty heavy. One thing I did forget to mention when I was back up at the grip is this an 8.2 millimeter grip, which is on the smaller side of my preference, but given the weight and I think the knurled grip, I can deal with it. I actually like these a lot, and I really think that a lot of it has to do with the weight, because I noticed that one of the next pens I'm reviewing is the Zebra All Steel 3 Series. Their pens, and their grip is actually a bit wider, but I don't like it at all, and that's, I think, because they're super light. So back to this stuff. I really like that it's a polished brass goldish looking tip, just because, I don't know, it just adds like some niceness to it. I like it. I think it looks really good. So just for the sake of some other specifications, the pencil comes in, it's about 5.2 inches or 13.3 centimeters long, and overall it weighs 0.88 ounces or 25 grams, which is hefty, and that's almost a full ounce of a pencil, that's a lot. You can get it in silver or black. I always prefer the black models. I just like the black pencils. Black, blue, and gray are my favorite, which is kind of funny because you can get silver, but if I can get black over silver, I'm going with black. And these ones only come in 0.5 or 0.7 millimeter. So you can also take this. I posted a picture of this on Instagram, and getting it down to here is about as comfortable as I am disassembling this, just because, like I said earlier, I'm really good at taking things apart, but I'm not really good at putting them back together. So I don't want to pull this out. You can see that it has some give. I'm sure it's connected somehow into the mechanism up here, and I really don't want to pull it out and just have it suck. But you can see it's a brass clutch like all the other models. So it's going to connect onto the tip here, I think is where it connects. And then when you advance it, this will catch and advance the lead. So, like I said, that's about as comfortable as I am taking it apart. It's got a ton of thread, so it's in there really securely and very solid. So overall, this has become one of my favorite. My camera is not autofocusing for some reason. I'm sorry about that. But overall, this has become one of my favorite mechanical pencils, right behind right around with the Rotring 600. I really enjoy Rotring. I think they make a really solid mechanical pencil. I think the biggest downside that I can think of with this one is the cost. Primarily, you're going to find it around the $50 mark. I kept an eye on it on Amazon for a while because I saw it for $29 one time, didn't have the money to buy it right then. So then I saw that it went back up to around that $50 point. Really bummed because I really wanted it, really liked it, and I just couldn't justify the cost. So got some money for my birthday, held off on buying some stuff, and then it dropped down to 29 bucks, or maybe it was Christmas, I think, because I have on my notes that it was around a holiday that I bought it. So I had some Christmas money, maybe it was birthday money, I don't remember, but it dropped down to 29 bucks during whatever holiday it was, and I jumped on it. I also got the 800 plus around that time because it did the same thing. So keep an eye on Amazon if you really want one of these, because they will drop the cost. And so then I think it's a little bit more worth it if you're doing it that way. But like I've said, this is a great mechanical pencil if you're willing to invest that money and really like having a quality writing experience. So as always, guys, this is a bit longer of a video because there was a lot to talk about. But please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. It's all greatly appreciated and really helps me grow. Check me out on my other platforms too. I will see you all on Wednesday. I'm trying to get back to doing 2 reviews a week now that things have kind of calmed down with the new baby and everything. So thank you all, and I'll see you next time.